Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Thursday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the Uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, stock index futures and commodities are currently trading above fair value. We do have a whole bunch of economic numbers coming out at 8:30 this morning that could help change the direction of the market. I'm doing this video, of course, ahead of those numbers. If I waited for those numbers to come out, you probably wouldn't get this video till about 10 a.m. Now, we had a huge expansion in volatility yesterday, one of the widest bar days we've seen in quite a while. And you can see we drove right back down to Friday's low. And then later in the day, we came right back up and headed right up to the upper channel line and our next price target. So we're sitting right on the edge of a new daily buy signal for the SPY. You can see that our price target was 554.69. We closed at 554.42, so just below that level. And of course, 562.50 is our next target to the upside if we keep going from here. Looking at the equal weighted S&P 500, look at how big that wick is, and that's how low that we got intraday. We traded right down to our price target. The low of the day turned out to be 168.79. Our price target is 168.75. So just a quick tip, if you're short something, put in your order just above the price target line. If you're long, of course, put your order in just below the price target line. Don't always expect the market to hit your target exactly. Give it a little wiggle room just to make sure your orders get filled. Now, looking at the NASDAQ 100, we are back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close, and we're sitting right on our price target of 468.75. We closed at 468.62, so just below the price target line. The high of the day certainly traded up through that line, but we pulled back going into the close. Now, if the NASDAQ wants to continue higher from here, our next target would be the August highs, and that would be up at 484.38. Now, what worked yesterday? Well, it was semiconductors up over 5%. ARM's Holding was the big winner on the NASDAQ, followed by NVIDIA, which ran up, filled that gap, and has pulled back slightly in the pre-market. Supermicro still on a sell signal, no change there. Broadcom back on a buy signal. And we had a nice big up day for ASML, but certainly no change in trend there. And on the Dow, the second biggest winner on the Dow was actually Intel. Intel needs a close on Thursday above $20.19. Not a stock I would chase. Looking at the Magnificent Seven, the ETF is back on a buy signal. All the stocks are not. We still have Amazon on a buy signal. We've got Microsoft back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. We already talked about NVIDIA. And we still have Tesla on a buy signal. It's still in that range. A lot of people are looking at this ascending triangle to see if we can break out. And certainly, if we can take out the recent high, then 250 and 265.63 come into play. Looking at our flypaper channel chart, we're above the flypaper channel, trying to break away from it. We're still stuck to it at the moment, and you can see that nice triangle that has formed, and we are working our way into a tight corner. Looking at what's not working just yet, well, Apple traded up into the channel yesterday, so we're looking for a close above $225.37 on Thursday to give us a buy signal. No joy for Alphabet, still holding 150. 137.50 would be our next target if we break down. Then we've got Meta still holding 500. If that starts to break, then 468.75 would be our next target. We're holding the flypaper channel right now, and that's a good sign going forward. This is the time and place where you would expect buyers to want to come in and take the stock higher. That hasn't started yet, but it certainly could start any day now. Looking at Shopify on both sides of the border, we ran up to the upper channel line. We're sitting right on the edge of a new daily buy signal on Thursday. Now, the VIX fell yesterday, not enough to give us a sell signal on the S&P 500 VIX. You can see we have just one dot down there. We're looking for a close below 1760. Just one dot for the NASDAQ VIX. We're looking for a close below 2211. Now, the Russell 2000 VIX ended on a sell signal, still just one dot so far. So if we want to get bullish here, we want the VIX to continue to move lower. Now, looking at the Canadian market, we've got both the Vanguard Canada ETF and the iShares for the TSX 60, both back on buy signals. Financials continued to move higher on Wednesday. We had some stability in the energy sector. It was unchanged on the day, still holding 1641. You can see our next targets to the downside if we continue lower from here. We had an extremely quiet day in the gold sector. It ended the day down a penny, still holding 2188. Of course, you can see the target down here of 2031, but we'd have to take this low in early August into account if we start breaking down from here. Now, the tech sector is back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. We needed a close above 54.83. We closed at 54.89. Then what really worked yesterday in the Canadian market was consumer discretionary. That had a lot to do with Dollarama that came back with a vengeance. Looks like the S&P 500 from yesterday. We're up over 8% on the day, back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. Now, Dollarama is in consumer discretionaries, and so is Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire is still holding up fairly well. Now, somebody asked me about Pet Value the other day. It is back on a buy signal. Pet Value is not in the same leagues, of course, as Canadian Tire and Dollarama, and you can see that by just looking at the Flypaper channel chart. Opportunities are rather limited for Pet Value. Compare that to Canadian Tire or Dollarama, which the opportunities are unlimited at the moment. Looking at commodities, starting off with the energy sector, crude oil had an inside day yesterday, still holding 65.63. If that breaks, then 62.50 is our next target. Natural gas still on a buy signal here, trying to break out above the August high. That would take us up to 2.54. Then looking at the metals, we've got copper still on a sell signal. No change there. No change for gold, still on a buy signal. Platinum back on a buy signal as of Wednesday's close. Unfortunately, silver still on a sell signal, no change there. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. Hopefully yesterday wasn't a buy the rumor, sell the news type situation. Certainly expecting volatility to expand after 8:30 this morning. Hopefully it'll keep going higher from here. We'll just have to wait and see. Enjoy the rest of your day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Friday morning.